Hey guys, this is Chris with Dicot Designs, and this is Griam, a 2023 Ford Transit 130 wheelbase. So typically we don't do Ford Transit builds. We mainly focus on Sprinters, but this was a very special project for our amazing client, Rowan. So context is everything. Rowan is moving to the US from the UK, a big next step and chapter. And what better way to make that move to the US than to buy a van and live in it and travel all across the country. Now with that said, vehicles, cars in the UK and in Europe are not quite as big as they are here in the US. So it was really important for Rowan to find a van that felt a little bit closer to what they knew from back home with a little bit more maneuverability, which is why we went for the 130 Transit with the medium roof as well. So the name of the van is Griam, which is actually the name of a mountain in Scottish Flow country, which is where Rowan had actually spent quite a bit of time. And that's actually a Scots Gaelic word for sunshine, which played into the motif of the van, which you're going to see in a little bit. So the name of the van is Griam, Scots Gaelic word for sunrise, and that is something that we used as the motif with Rowan for this van. Getting a van and moving into a van is a pretty big emotional transition for a lot of people, so finding that design inspiration, that motif, and what it means emotionally for them is a pretty important thing we work on with our clients. And so the idea is that Rowan is moving here from the UK, big transition, and it's like a new day for them, a new dawn. And so we tried to bring in that imagery of a sunrise into the van. So you can see that in the garage with the electrical cabinetry venting, we have a rising sun there. We have the imagery of a rising sun up on the upper cabinets and those two horizon lines. And then we keep those horizon lines going kind of in an inverse fashion on this countertop here as well to try to bring some continuity. The other thing is that Rowan is really interested in sustainability, but also being outside and in the natural world. So we wanted really for this van to have some nice, calm, neutral tones to it, which is kind of what decided the color palette here and the materials we chose. So we have this nice light brown tweed upholstered fabric for the walls and the ceilings. For the cabinetry, we went with bamboo plywood, which is a nice sustainable material. Of course, went with some nice hardwood walnut for the countertop and the inlays up top. And then tying it all together was this beautiful fabric that was used for the mattress cover and the bench cushion in the van as well. All right, so the layout is something that we talk a lot about with our clients, where the bed should be positioned, where the kitchen should be positioned, all of this kind of stuff. And this is where we landed for this van. It's a really crucial part of the van design process with our clients. At Dicot Designs, we'll do any layout. We like to get funky with it. But this ultimately is a pretty popular design for a lot of people. We found having the fixed bed. We had talked about a convertible bed, at one point. But based on the way that Rowan plans to use the van while traveling across the US and how the van is intended to be used once that trip is over, we decided that this was the best orientation of appliances and amenities within the vehicle. Up top, we've got 2 fans going in here. Rowan's going to be in this van in the summer. It's going to get a little toasty. So we decided after some deliberation that we should get some dual ventilation action to keep it a little cool in here. Up on the ceiling, we've got 2 zones of recessed lighting. Dimmable, of course, got to have that. And then up in the front here, we've got this overhead shelf, which is great for storing window covers, as well as a curtain rod where you can put up a nice little privacy curtain. Bench, got to be comfy in the van. So up top, we've got this really nice bench cushion from Ali Olsen Sewing Patterns. We have the bench in the slider door area. It kind of helps just when you're looking inside and coming inside the van, for the van to feel a bit more open and spacious. Right on the outside here, we've got a simple folding table. So if you're outside and want to have your coffee out there, that's really nice. Right up here, we've got the attachment point for a Lagoon swiveling table. So you can have the table out of the way when you don't want to use it. And then when you want to have it installed and use a table, then you can do that pretty easily. Right here, straightforward. We got nice drawer storage. You can't have too much drawer storage in a van. And then here, we've got a Trillino composting toilet. This is a drawer with 500-pound rated drawer slides. And the Trillino composting toilet, pretty straightforward. And like most composting toilets, it simply runs on the fact that we're separating liquids and solids, which is really the thing that mitigates the odors that way. Welcome to the kitchen. So we've got a big ol' countertop in here. I've kind of mentioned this with some other vans, but it's really nice to have a large open countertop. You can run out of counter space pretty quickly in a van, so it's nice to be able to have that. This is a custom walnut countertop, and like I said, that kind of inverse inlay from the upper cabs is here. In this corner, we've got an outlet. That's for charging devices, but also if you want to plug in your induction cooktop. We decided to go with a portable induction cooktop for this van so that you can pull it outside if it's hot and you don't want to make the van even hotter, or if it's just nice outside, you want to cook outside. With all these drawers, we've got 4 total soft close drawer slides with latches. Coming back up top here, we've got a faucet and a nice deep sink, which is really valuable to have in a van for washing dishes, makes it a little bit easier. We do have hot and cold water in the van. We've got a 2.5 gallon hot water heater in here. We've got a water filter for the cold water line in here as well. And that's all running off of a 33 gallon fresh water tank above this passenger side wheel well. And then underneath or within this cabinet, we've also got gray water that you can either route into a gray water jug or straight through the van. And then here, it's nice to just get the dish soap and the hand soap out of the way. And so we've got these built-in dispensers here, which just makes things a little bit easier. All right, so let's talk electrical. It's like the lifeblood of the van, right? We went with an EcoFlow 5 kilowatt hour system here, which is about 400 amp hours of lithium power. With this, in terms of charging, we've got 400 watts of solar up on the roof. We can also charge the van from shore power, and of course, it charges off the vehicle's alternator as well. And then we've got a big old beefy alternator that gives us AC power, so we can run 110 volt power. And then we also have DC 12 volt power. And then the first 6 circuits on here can all be controlled right from this EcoFlow control panel. Moving on to here, these are our main light switches. So we've got the 2 zones of overhead lighting, and then this button that controls the lighting underneath the upper cabinet and the toe kick of the kitchen cab. And then over here, we've got the high altitude S-bar heater. So if you're up in the mountains, you're gonna be taken care of and super toasty. And that's tapped right into the vehicle's gas tank. All right, so the bed, the sleeping area. So we did decide to go with flares for this van build. With it being a 130 wheelbase Transit, we didn't have a ton of space to work with. So we felt it was really necessary to add some flares to let the bed run east to west, which gives it about the length of a queen size mattress. The other thing that was really important to Rowan was to be able to sit up in bed. And so with that, we built this bed as low as we possibly could into the flares to give as much seated height on the mattress as possible. We've got 2 reading lights here with some USB charging as well. We've also got USB chargers built into the flares here on the sides. And then right here, you can kind of see that continued motif of the sunrise as well. Cool. So as you could imagine, storage in a van is pretty crucial. And so that's why with Rowan, we decided to have these cabinets run the full length of the driver's side of the van. We've got this LED lighting, which one is really nice for illuminating the countertop when you're working on it and cooking, etc. It's also just nice for ambiance, you know, some nice soft mood lighting, and it's dimmable as well. Within the cabinets themselves, we've got soft close hinges, struts to keep them propped open, and then latches, which are pretty crucial so stuff doesn't go flying. And these cabs are also bolted directly into the vehicle, so they ain't going nowhere. And then we have the motif again, sunshine, Griam, present with this upper cab, kind of a pretty eye-catching piece in the van. So we've got that running across the whole length to tie things together. All right, so let's talk about the exterior because there were a handful of upgrades that we made on the van for Rowan. So first of all, we upgraded the tires from the stock tires to all-terrain tires. These are Falken Wild Peak tires. For both the slider door and the rear doors, we installed these Van Essential bug screens. I love them, I think they're great, really great for keeping the bugs out. And up top, we've got the Flatline Vanco roof rack. On that roof rack, we threw up a Fiamma awning, along with some LED lights up there. We also installed some flare space flares to let us run the bed east to west. And then up on the roof, which is accessible on the other side of the van with a ladder, we've got 390 watts of solar, as well as a Starlink, which is connected directly to 12-volt power, which makes it super efficient and easy to run. So we got the back of the van here. On either side, we've got these Van Essential rear storage cubbies, which are really great for storing lots of small items. I find them to be really handy. On the driver's side of the van, we've got the electrical system, a 5 kilowatt hour EcoFlow system in here. A fun way we like to add a little bit of customization to the vans is that we work with our clients to design these vents. So going along with the motif of the rising sun, well, Rowan loves salamanders, and salamanders come out in the morning sun, so that was fitting and a nice way to let the electrical system breathe. Over here, we've got the distribution panel for the EcoFlow system, so really easy and accessible. And then right here, we've got dual switches, so you can control these garage lights from the front or the back. We've got a small cubby up there for some extra storage. And then we also worked with Rowan to actually add a EcoFlow Wave 2 portable air conditioning unit. We decided we didn't want to go with a massive battery system and a rooftop AC unit. So kind of the compromise in this situation was, you know what, let's just get the portable EcoFlow Wave 2 AC for when it's really needed. So we have that stored and strapped in the garage for when need be. You can also see up near the front, we've got a removable partition so that any items in the garage don't necessarily slide forward, but if you want to store a bunch of stuff in this van, then you can simply remove that and you get the full length of the van. Coming on this side of the van, this is where we've got the whole water system. So on the other side of this, we've got 33 gallons of fresh water. Again, there's a hot water heater in the van. So this port here is where you can fill up the water tank, and then this port here on this side allows you to take a shower out the back of the van, and this is your mixing valve right here. Here we've got a gauge which tells you how much is in the tank, and then another switch here for a 12-volt heating pad for the water tank as well. And then we've got everything with the water system really easy and accessible so that if you need to service anything, you can do so right here. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this tour of Griam. We certainly enjoyed building it. We just really love building these custom vans and working closely with our amazing clients to bring these to life. So Rowan, we really appreciate you. We loved working with you, and we can't wait to see where you take this van. See you guys later.